So, Steve, a 2-0 win here today. Felt like we needed that. Summarise it for us.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're short on numbers again today. We only had 14 fit players, but that's the vagaries of the level, and that's what you have to deal with. We're not unique, but obviously we're not blessed with the squad numbers that maybe certain other clubs have got. But I really like the system at Wealdstone last week. A game that you all witnessed. We should have won 4 or 5-1. Absolutely dominated from start to finish. I like the system, and I stayed with it today with a 3-4-1-2. Obviously, Coops was a big miss, and there's always going to be, simply based on his work rate, and obviously the fact that he stretches teams and he gets in behind. So we missed him today. So we asked the two boys up top, who played really as false nines yet again vis-a-vis last Saturday. We asked them to stretch their back three, come back five, and I thought they did. And I thought, to be honest with you, if we'd been 2-0 up at half time, it wouldn't have been an unfair reflection. Quite how Manny is still trying to work out in the dressing room how he missed that chance in the first half. When, to be honest with you, my nan could have converted that literally 2 yards out. But there you go. But yeah, I thought, I was just a little bit worried at half time because I thought we'd been so dominant, and yet again had really good opportunities and not taken them. I just felt, Christ, it's just a sense of deja vu. They had a little spell, didn't they, where they forced sort of 5 or 6 corners, but we dealt with all of that really well. And then I thought, to be honest with you, our front three had worked so hard and had done so much to give us a platform and stretch the game. I thought it was a perfect opportunity to replace the front three with that little bit of physicality, that little bit of height, that little bit of guile with Emmanuel-Thomas and Fletch, because obviously we know what John does, and ultimately, genius. It's won us the game, isn't it? So, what can I say? But no, all joking aside, the front three that were on the pitch for the first 70 minutes gave us the platform to win the game. Venner's, I'm expecting him to score. He's such a good player, technically and whatever. I thought he'd just lay the goalkeeper down and put it in the opposite corner. But we still had the momentum after we missed that penalty. I think it would be easy in the situation we found ourselves in the last few weeks to feel sorry for ourselves, but we're not like that. We're it's easy for me to say we're miles better than our league position suggests, and anybody that watches us on a regular basis knows that we dominate games. And Saturday we didn't just have a spell, we dominated from start to finish, but we just haven't been able to put the ball in the net. And to be honest with you, we were crying out for that one bit of quality from Emmanuel-Thomas, and we got it, didn't we? I mean, what a sublime finish. That's as good a free kick finish as you'll see at this level, to be honest with you. And obviously that gave us a platform, and then John rolled back the years and did what he does and finished the game off for us.
So you mentioned the previous game and how well we played there, unlucky to come away with the defeat, and then in the game today you wanted to carry that on with the same system, but as you say, going in at half time at 0-0, how challenging is it to then keep that going into the second half and finally get us over the line?
Well, you just feel that vis-a-vis was such a bad goal that we conceded at Wealdstone 7 minutes from the end last week. You just feel that if the opposition have one moment, and that's all it takes, and you can't convert, all that dominance, particularly, in the final third and whatever, you're going to get undone, and that's what we were mindful of. We said, come what may, no cheap turnover, no cheap free kicks, obviously corners are slightly different, but no unforced errors. Let's make sure that we defend properly, whatever they throw at us. And I thought we did. We had that spell, didn't we? That 5-minute spell they had in the second half where they forced 5 or 6 corners, but they didn't really hurt us. They never opened us up all afternoon. Jack was excellent, but didn't have a shot to save. Congratulations to him, by the way, for his England under-20s call-up last night. What a fantastic experience for him to be on the bench against Japan under-20s. And I thought he was really assured today, even though he didn't have a lot to do. But yeah, you just say to the players, look, keep doing what we're doing, but when you get those opportunities, somebody needs to step up to the plate, and that's exactly what happened.
And I suppose for all the right reasons, Emmanuel-Thomas is going to be the talking point after today's game. Can you talk to us a little bit firstly about how the move came about and how you're feeling after his performance off the bench today?
Yeah, I got approached by Jay's agent when he got released from prison, whenever it was, a year ago, 9 months ago, whatever the case may be. And obviously at that particular time, we were doing well in the division. I didn't really have the need for a player like that. And I didn't have the budget, not that he's expensive, but I didn't have the budget, to be honest with you. He then subsequently went to Tottenham in the summer, resided in Southampton, as he has to do as one of his conditions, etc., etc. But obviously I've kept tabs on the situation. I spoke to the Tottenham manager a couple of weeks ago about Chelmsford City, funny enough, before we played them, and obviously we touched on Jay because I'd gathered that Jay possibly wanted to relocate, even under his bail conditions, to be nearer to home, to his London base, and he was really positive about him. You know, we can all watch clips on him wherever we want, can't we? That's the reality of the situation. But yeah, he was really positive about what he's got to offer, his attitude, the way he conducts himself, the way he looks after himself, etc., etc. And he said, you know, the reality is he wants to get closer to home. So I started dialogue with his agent, and we managed to bring it to a conclusion early this week. And listen, at the end of the day, people can say what they want, and that's their prerogative. But he's committed a crime. He's done his time, so to speak. He's seeing out his probation. He's a really good guy. I can vouch for that, having worked with him for the majority of the week. He looks after himself in the right way, and as you saw today, it's kind of almost like a perfect script, isn't it, in terms of him coming on and delivering that kind of quality that's given us a platform to win the game. And he's one of those players, those rare players at this level that can do that.
And obviously, John Akinde capping the game off with his first league goal of the season, that must be a big weight off of his shoulders.
It's a big weight off my shoulders as well, to be fair. No, I mean, listen, John has been fantastic for me, and he's been fantastic for this football club. People forget how marginalised he was when I came in a year ago, for whatever reason. That's nothing to do with me. Obviously, as is well documented and well known, I had to reduce the budget as soon as I came in quite significantly. So the first thing I did was move on Ini Effiong, who'd been our regular number 9. And obviously John had been marginalised. So John really had to get himself up to speed halfway through the season last season. But he was our talisman last season. I couldn't have asked for a better orthodox number 9 at this level last season if I tried. 11 goals and probably the same in assists last season. And but he got a very serious injury, particularly for somebody of his age, with the hamstring at Southend, that obviously finished his season last season. And really, John's still been getting up to speed in the last few weeks. So that's a really serious injury that he sustained, particularly for a big guy and somebody of his age. But he's a consummate professional. You see those little cameos from him in games where he just runs people and what have you. And to be honest with you, when he gets in those areas, you really fancy him, because centre-halves can't get anywhere near him, and that's like rolling back the years for me. But that's the John Akinde that I know and love, and that's the John Akinde that it's a pleasure to work with.
And as much as we'll enjoy today, we will look ahead to next week where we've got Scunthorpe. What's the preparation going to be like for that one?
We'll be back on the training ground next week. We'll afford them all due respect. They're having a fantastic season. Obviously, since their promotion, big football club at this level, big football club. But, you know, I've got players coming back from injury next week and suspension, so the landscape is going to shift. And yeah, I mean, that's a monkey off our back today. So we're going to go there in really good spirits. We'll have a good week on the training ground. We've got a clear week, which is always good for preparation. And yeah, we'll go there and we'll be ready.
Cheers, Steve.
Thank you
very much.